How do you declutter your baby stuff? Now, recently I decluttered my baby stuff. I know you're wondering. You got emotional, didn't you, Robin? We'll save that to the end. Hey friends, I'm Robin. I help overwhelmed people declutter all of the excess from their lives so that they can start living them. Now grab your tea and let's go. Now, lots of the time when we struggle with decluttering our kids and baby stuff, it's because we're realizing our kids are growing up, and it's hard to realize your kids are growing up. Welcome to my son's bedroom. Now today I'm actually going to be decluttering some of my baby's stuff. So I'm going to go in his closet, and this is not easy, and I wanted to make this because I really wanted to show you guys how to tackle decluttering sentimental items. So the funniest thing is when I declutter in my son's room, and I usually help him declutter his closet 1 to 2 times a year, there's one area that often gets missed, and I think you're going to see why in just a second. That would be the baby clothes, and those are up high. Got the boxes down. I'm just gonna grab a couple of other things out. The most important thing though is to set your timer for 30 minutes. Now, this is something that I always like to mention, and I will mention it again, is 30-minute max usually for decluttering. Occasionally, if you're like almost done, sure, if you're on a real roll, go on a little bit, but don't make a huge event of it. Don't make it like a 4 to 6 hour decluttering session. So I am going to set my timer for 30 minutes, and I'm only doing 30 minutes. If I'm not done, then I will come back tomorrow. I grabbed this bag because I like to set up my buckets. The bag for things to donate, things to keep, garbage, and the baby clothes that we're going through. I remember I was sad when my oldest was a newborn and I stopped counting days. I started counting weeks, and then I stopped counting weeks, and I started counting months, and on and on and on, and now it's years, and now he's 16. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to go through some of the things in the closet. Now, the reason why my son is not involved in this process is because today we're just dealing with baby stuff that's in the closet that mostly is more my sentimental items, but a few of them I want to keep for him. So working as quickly as you can, just get stuff out of there. So sometimes you need to actually hang on to a couple of things just to neutralize the feeling. Some things we have, and it is just such a strong emotion when you think about decluttering that piece of your baby's things. Just hang on to those few things. Like if you can get rid of most of it, just hang on to a couple of things. One day you might find that those emotions are actually neutralized and you can let those go. So here's a good example of why sometimes it's a good idea just to set things aside to see if your feelings will neutralize a little bit. If you feel like you're getting rid of too much at once. This is a Yo Gabba Gabba shirt that we had. So they all wore it, and I don't mind decluttering it at all now. So I'm going to do that. Now that I'm up here, my cats are up here, so they want to see what's happening. My cats are loving this process. But when I'm decluttering things, I have certain rules that I follow, and I have a PDF that I will link down below. You can download it if you want to go along with those things, and I have updated it to include sentimental items and a few other things such as Swedish death cleaning questions. So when it comes to baby stuff, a lot of times I like to save 1 to 2 things from each stage of life. So 3 to 6 months, 6 to 12. This is something my mother-in-law made, and it's beautiful. So I'm gonna hang on to this, and I'm going to let my kids pass that on to their kids if they want, and if they choose not to keep it, that is fine. But for now, I will hold on to it until there are grandchildren in the picture. So you might have heard me before discuss Swedish death cleaning. Now the author, Margareta, she mentions that there are these instincts, and one of the instincts is the fear of death instinct. Now the thing about the fear of death instinct is that we all have it. We are all growing older, and our kids are growing older. Now our kids growing older is sort of a part of that fear of death instinct. Like we recognize they're never going to be babies again. And even though there are things that aren't amazing about babies, like the sleep deprivation, for example, we still often long for those days. But it's really important that you still declutter things. You can't keep them forever. So something that you will see me not use a lot of is baskets. I will occasionally in some places like hall closets for winter hats and things like that. But for the most part, things like this, initially I got these for, you know, little kid underwear and little kid socks, but now they just sit empty. Or they will be filled with things and not end up being useful. So I am going to donate these as well because somebody else can use them. Here's another little hat my mother-in-law made, so we'll keep that. So this is a broken hat from Disneyland. I kind of want to hang on to this until we go to Disneyland one more time and just sort of fix it. I will chat with my son and see if he wants to keep it. I have a set of ears that I like as well. We like to dress up when we go to Disneyland. Here's a karate belt. My son stopped karate. We're not going to hang on to that. If you're curious what this on the door is, one year for Valentine's Day, I came down every night and I put something I love about my kids on a heart and stuck it to their front or to their bedroom door, and so they each put them in their closet, and they really like it, and they actually were sad I didn't do it the next year, so I'll probably do it this coming year. So I've got a couple of school things here, and I think we can pretty much just let this stuff go. My son wrote some stories. I have a stack of them in here, and I think that we will hang on to those, but for the most part, I think all of this can get recycled, which is great. So I'll put it in the garbage bag, but then we'll put it in the recycling. I like things with their hands on it, so I might hold that and put that in my son's little keepsake box, which I will show you. I did show that in a different video, but I'll show you. But I think it's important to keep a box of keepsakes. I have this box of keepsakes for my son. So this is my youngest keepsake box, and I have shown this before, but this is the little outfit we brought him home in the hospital, and I loved it. I mean, he did not wear it much, but artwork and a couple of pieces of baby clothing, so not a lot. And I've got a few mementos from when he was in the hospital, little hat, things like that, but really not much. I probably won't even keep all of that stuff in there in the long run, but for now, those are things I don't want to declutter. And these are things that you come back to from time to time. I'm not going to say it's easy going through all of their artwork and things, but I know that as life goes on, you can't hold on to things forever. And you will, the longer you live, accumulate more things. And at the end of your life, you don't want to be leaving things for people to go through. Right now, my mom and my aunts are helping my grandparents go through their things because they're downsizing. And we're lucky that my grandparents are still with us right now, but it's a huge, huge task for people to undertake. And so as far as kids things go, I think it's nice to keep a few little things here and there. My son drew all these beautiful flowers. I think it's very lovely, but like, should I hang on to it? No. What I will do is take a photo. Now, even the kids' artwork sometimes is hard to declutter when they're really young. But as they get older, you will look at, you know, just a smear of paint and think, I could let that go. Some things are a bit better, so you'll take a photo and you can hang on to a couple of them. I mean, you do what you want to do. Don't mind my son's mess here. He's dealing with a Lego disaster. And yes, I did make a video on Lego. But as you saw in that video, there were a lot of totes, and I'm still struggling with that with my husband. So preschool pictures, glued cereal on a piece of paper, something like this. No, that doesn't really speak to their personality. So the good news is the preschool ones are really easy to declutter. So that is pictures done. So this is each of my kids' baby books. As you would imagine, the first is filled up better than the second and third, but I will hang on to those, and I'll put these back in this particular closet. But we're almost done this closet. Isn't that exciting? And I don't know how much time I have left because it's not showing up on my watch, but IKEA picture, donate. And I have a friend who made soap. It helps the closet smell good, so I like to keep the soap in there. What's this? Garbage, yay. When I am decluttering things, I recognize that I can't hold on to everything. And I use a system when I'm decluttering, like my decluttering PDF, because I want to be systematic when I'm doing it. I don't want everything to be based on emotion. I want to make sure that I am like going through my simple questions. So when I'm going, you know, picking up a piece of clothing and I think, you know, this reminds me of when my child was a baby, like, is it a particular memory that is so wonderful that I don't want to declutter that because I might risk forgetting that memory? I mean, if that is the case, doesn't seem likely, but if that is the case, sure, hang on to that. I mean, of course. And I'm not saying declutter everything. I definitely hang on to a few things of my kids. So this is the last box of baby clothes, really. And I say baby when, you know, some of them are probably from age 6, but these are little shorts. These ones, I really liked these. They had a really cute little pink shirt that went with them, which was so nice. And I am sorry, my cats, every time I'm doing anything, they want to be involved. And it's also really hard letting go of things that you know they didn't really wear. The good news is a lot of these things are in really good condition, which is really kind of strange. So I can actually sell them to the consignment place, which is really nice. So this is actually a lot easier than I thought it would be. I think the harder things were the knit things my mother-in-law made, because I really love my mother-in-law. She's a great, great lady, and she can't knit anymore because her hands, she's got bad arthritis. So I think that's really sad. This is all shorts. Here I thought I was going to be like going through emotional baby stuff, and it literally is just all shorts. But if it is just a normal memory, like them being a baby, you're probably not going to forget them being a baby. And I just don't think people should hang on to many, many things just because they're afraid they're going to forget something, especially when it's a whole stage of childhood. You're probably not going to forget that. I can actually just put these all back in here and take them to the consignment place because they're all in great shape. And the one other thing that we pulled out of there was this Playmobil. I didn't even realize we still had this. I always thought Playmobil was so cool. And when I was a kid, we did not have any. I don't know if it was just too expensive. It could have been, but I always thought it was so neat. So I loved when my kids had it. But the problem with Playmobil is there are like a million pieces and they're also random. So I don't think I'm going to be too sad letting this one go. And my timer just went off just as I was putting things back. Plus, I ran downstairs for a minute to help my husband with something. So I actually think I'm right on time. So I'm just going to throw those things back in the closet and then we are done. And I will show you how nice and clean it is. And Oliver is done cleaning up his Lego. Look how nice that looks. We also decluttered his old bookshelf and tidied up his books. So remember these tips when you are decluttering. Number one, make sure you're feeling good that day. Make sure it's not, day 27 of your cycle. Make sure that you set your timer for 30 minutes and you don't go overboard, because even if you have a ton of stuff to go through, you can always come back to it and do it quickly. I have decluttered so much of my house, it does not take me long. You will get there. The other thing, make sure that you do keep things from different stages of your baby's life. And also make sure that you are really evaluating if it's a good memory, if it's just a memory of them being a baby. Maybe it's something you really liked, like a piece of clothing, and you just loved it in them. There's nothing wrong with keeping that. If it's something like your mother-in-law made, like these beautiful pieces of clothing, and you want to hang on to them for your grandkids, I don't see anything wrong with that. Just remember, you can't hold on to everything. And remember, take pictures of their artwork. At the very least, it's fun to look at them. Now, Swedish death cleaning is something that I think is so great when you're decluttering a lot of things, especially emotional things. So check out that video here. YouTube thinks you will like this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.